Well, that was a fun night in that, when you got 29 assists and 7 turnovers and everybody involved, again, our offensive efficiency has been our hallmark and sharing the ball, and that was really what did it. And I was so pleased when we subbed young guys. They play the same way and play very maturely. But, good. I think it's a good start for us. I think they're pretty good. I was a little concerned about this one, given some guys were hurt. But I thought our veterans kind of set the tone, and every young guy we put in the game looked like he'd been there before and contributed.
What's Cam's situation?
We're going to think about a 5-year program for him. Haven't made a final decision yet. Obviously, you couldn't play him tonight if you're going to do that since he's his second year. We may not have a decision this week, but I think it's something we want to talk about with him and his family and think about it. Maybe the best thing for him in the long run, to get older, get stronger academically, all of the above. Those are usually the points. Tim Abramitis did it in his second year. You don't always have to redshirt as a freshman. And so it's kind of an ongoing discussion. Maybe we'll know something, make a final decision next week.
When did this really gain steam as far as, hey, that could be...
I thought Eric Atkins was really good too, didn't you?
I'm not going to talk. We'll get to that eventually. No, I mean, when did it
we actually talked about it a little bit in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Given it was a big summer for him and he delivered. And as a staff, we've always kind of mentioned it a little. But, I've never done it. I have never done it unless, we've never forced it on a guy. Guy's got to want to do it. And so actually he brought it up to me in a meeting over the weekend. He said, Coach, I've been thinking about it. My family and I have been talking about it. What do you think? And I kind of went through things with him. And, you get into the balancing point of what's best for the kid, what's best for our team, and so I think that's what we've got to kind of figure out. We got a lot of guys on the perimeter who can play, though.
What was the biggest thing you wanted to accomplish tonight?
Playing how we played in practice, sharing the ball, moving it, being efficient. And I was nervous for our young guys because they were the only subs we had. Were they going to be able to come in and kind of play how we played? And now the one thing about those young guys, they played a lot together against the older veteran perimeter. So they gave us a great lift. I was very impressed with Austin Burgett. He has played tonight how he's practiced. He gives us that stretch 4-man that we really don't have in the program. Zach and Tom are different. But I thought it was a great night for him to get more confident, and a good night for Sherm. Sherm's got to be like a really rock solid guy for us. And I think he can do that. Why can't he have a great senior year like many of the guys in our program? Guys have great senior years here. Why can't he be one of them?
You were concerned in the preseason about how you'd be able to rebound, and obviously you're missing some pieces there, but second chance points, they beat you on the boards. I mean, have any of those concerns been allayed during the preseason?
I still think it's a concern for us. I still think it is. I think we couldn't get our hands on enough of them tonight in one-and-done situations, so it put a lot of pressure on your offense. Fortunately, we were able to be efficient. But there are times, with those other guys, we can be bigger too. The guys that are hurt, Zach and Tom, and you're a little bit bigger. But Pat helping us rebound, Jaron getting down there. I think that's going to be a thing we have to really emphasize and look at. And what do we play defensively to help us rebound too, sometimes when we're really extended. I'll tell you the one thing you saw tonight, the new rule. I mean, they're calling it close, and they call it on both ends. The games are longer. I like the rule. I think it's better for us because we're a smart team. We're a smart program. I think we can play defense and keep our hands off for the most part. I think one of the things that kind of gave us breathing room is we got to the bonus quick. We got to the bonus quick, and the foul line was a weapon for us. But it's still an adjustment period for our guys. Both teams were kind of looking like, God, that was just a little hand. Well, that's there's these absolutes, and I think they're a good thing.
When you look at the stat sheet that says 29 assists, and 7 turnovers, is that when you know that, okay, things are in order?
I think, that's where I mean, that's how we play. I mean, I don't know if ESPN had a thing today, 5 best offenses. They're on ESPN.com, and we were 5th, and they talked about our efficiency in points per possession the last 7 years. And I showed that article with the 4 other ones. I think it was Florida, Duke, Kentucky, Michigan, us. Just to kind of, again, remind our guys of, the hallmark here has been we take good care of that thing, we share it, we don't turn it over, we know what a good shot is. Now, we have a lot of shot makers out there, and our young guys are shot makers. Again, Steve's 2 shots those were big buckets for us coming off the bench.
You like the new rule, but do you take a wait and see approach to it? Because it seems like you've been down this road before, where they're going to point of emphasis. They're going to.
Tom, I feel it's a great question. I feel better. It's not a point of emphasis anymore. It's an absolute, and you could see how disciplined those guys were. They're calling it, and they're not even flinching, and and the players have to adjust. So I think it has to stay intact because it's more of a mandate than a point of emphasis this year. But it's here to stay. Now, it's a little bit of a catch-22. We've talked about wanting to pressure the ball and contest more with our athletic ability, but I don't want to foul. And tonight we're pretty good in our zone, and we probably got more turnovers in our zone, deflections and runouts, than we did on our man. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on. As this thing goes forward. Who are we going to be defensively?
Safe to say that with all the guys sitting on the bench in street clothes, you had a couple lineups there in the first half, and you probably haven't had a lot of time in them.
No, they haven't. And that's what I felt good about, Tom. It's guys playing together, and still they're not turning the ball over, still getting a pretty good shot. Again, we'll get Tom back in practice Wednesday. I feel he'll be able to play. Zach will be back in practice Saturday. So, we're getting the big bodies back, which is important. And then again, we'll take a wait and see and keep analyzing the Cam situation, and I think we come up with something by early next week.
So the Cam situation, getting back to that, I mean, that's an indication that your freshman guards are definitely in the mix.
Yeah. There's.
I mean, obviously.
I don't think you could even consider from what's best for our team, unless your freshman guards have been really impressive and consistent and solid, and all 3 of them have been. So, if that wasn't the case, I think the discussion would have ended Saturday in my office, like we can't do it. But we may be able to do it because we have some depth there. And what's best for the kid? Like Tim Abramitis, it was still best for him in the second year because he was still young and figuring it out, and it may be best for him.
To clarify how that started, you guys have talked about it in loose terms, but then Cam brought it to you, and that made it concrete.
We very loose terms as a staff. We talked about privately at times, like, maybe we just redshirt him, and get him older and stronger, and never really hit him directly with it. But he came into my office and said, "Coach, my family and I have been talking. What do you think about this?" And I said, I have an open mind. I said, it's not coming out of left field. We've talked about that. Here are some things. Here's what it entails. Thanks, guys. See you Friday.